Hey guys, this is Jack from Team Empire, and today we'll be talking about the reveals for set 10 for the Tuesday stream. Sorry this is a little late, it was just because I didn't know if I should cover the Excellis stuff for today or the other Messiah stuff. I've been talking to Xavier about it, and I think Xavier will probably post that video pretty soon, or he'll record the video pretty soon, and I'll post it. So with that out of the way, and just like being just a little busy, I decided just to do it now and cover the reveals that were revealed today. So the first couple cards we have are the Masques reveals, or actually the only cards we have today are the Masques reveals. So Masques, now that we understand, is not an actual unit or like a new ride line. It is instead like a reverse situation. So we have other units who use this order, which is the mask, to make themselves into new units, and it seems pretty strong based on the first one we have, which was Zorga. So we're going to be talking about the actual mask first before we talk about Zorga. The mask is a nationless order card, is a double rare, so it's going to be pretty hard to get, which I feel a little bad about. I probably should have made this like a rare, honestly. But if you get this, be sure to, like, if you're going to think about playing some of the Dragon Tree decks, or the Masques deck, I would say, pick up as many of these as you can. So with a generic grade 3 normal order that says look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to one unit card with Dragon Tree or Masques in its name from among them, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Now that's its on play effect, and that's pretty nice, because being able to add stuff in Griforgia is very nice, since Griforgia has Dragon Tree in his name, and being able to search the Dragon Tree wretches is really cool. Along with that, just having a searcher for your cards that need this card in drop in order to ride, that's just great. You know, you can use it and then immediately use the second effect, since the second effect, which activates from drop, doesn't actually count for your order for turn, which is pretty interesting. So it says act from drop. If you have a grade 3 Vanguard without Masques in its card name cost, reveal a grade 3 card with Masques in its card name from your hand, and ride the card revealed for this cost as stand. If you rode, put this unit into your soul. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater and you did not Persona Ride this turn, you activate Persona Ride. So this is a straight up turn 3 Persona Ride, which is kind of nuts. Only if you're going second though, so it's a little more balanced than that, but still, that's kind of nuts. Like if your opponent's deck does not have like a good write up, this can just like straight up like punish them hard for going first. Along with that, just like from what the one Masques card we have, it seems like that card's really good. So if the other ones are just as good as Zorga, then this is going to be a really strong mechanic. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this card actually does. So like I said, be sure to pick up as many of these as possible, even if you don't intend on playing a Masques deck, just for like either trade or for future decks that come in set 12 or 13. Next up, we have the actual Masques unit itself, which is Teasing, Spiritualist, Zorga, Masques, which has a continuous effect that says this card can only be ridden from a grade 3 with Zorga in its card name, so you cannot ride this like just straight up from Black Tears into this. You have to play it, either straight up ride it or use the mask in order to ride into this. Next up is Continuous Vanguard Circle. When you would play a normal order, you can bind a normal order from your drop and then Alchemagic. So that's pretty nice, being able to like just straight up Alchemagic, kind of like the Blue Zorga, but it's actually a little better than Blue Zorga. Blue Zorga can only Alchemagic with orders with different names. This one can actually do both. So you can either Alchemagic with cards with different names or do the same name, which for certain cards like Clouded Miasma is even better, because basically you can CB2 call 2 things and give your front row 10k for the turn, on top of potential Persona Rides, and for its continuous effect that says if you Alchemagic this turn, all your front row units get plus 10k. That's plus 30k to the front row, which is kind of insane. And Counterblast 2 isn't even that bad, because if you play Rogue Headhunter, the cost will be reduced by 1. So overall, just these two are great arrays of effects that like really feel like just straight up power crept and upgraded versions of red and blue. They like took the best parts about those two and put them into this one card. So it's amazing, but it has one more skill, which is act Vanguard Circle once per turn. Cost, remove a card with Zorga and its different card name from this unit from your hand, soul, or drop. So you choose a card from your drop and call it to Vanguard Circle if it's a unit card, or put it into your hand if it's a normal order. So this is also kind of like Blue Zorga, to where, or blue, it's a like combination of blue and red. because then it like either adds an order like red does, or it calls a card like blue does. But the cost is really specific. You have to remove a Zorga with a different name, so you can actually remove him, kind of like the grade 4s. So I think they kind of like thought of that, which is a little worse because you really don't want to be playing the blue or red Zorga in your main deck if you're in this, just to be able to remove from game, you know. So that might be a little bit of a worse like trade-off. Who knows? People will find a way, I bet. But just overall, I don't really think you'd want to do that, just because like deck space in Zorga is also going to be really tight once this new support comes in, because pretty much you want to play all of these cards. Next up, we have the double rare. The Dragon Tree Wretch, D-BT10, who says auto when it's placed in a rearguard circle, cost counterblast 1, soul blast 1. Choose one of your rearguard circle without a Dragon Tree marker and put a Dragon Tree marker on it. Search your deck for up to 1 Mask of Hydra Gum, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So this is a double rare also, along with the mask. This is very similar to the first abilities of all the Dragon Tree Wretches from set 9, where they like counterblast 1 and play a Dragon Tree marker. But instead they add an additional cost, which is a soul blast, so you can add the order straight to your hand. At least the orders, these are like guaranteed order searchers, so they aren't like top 5, not even top 7, just straight up search the deck, which is just really nice, really great card. It's my, like, I pretty much think that every nation's going to get this double rare, which is pretty cool. I don't think these will have like different effects. I think they'll just all have the same effect, but just be under a different nation, which is nice because like gives every nation that consistency boost. Again, if you're going to even like potentially build a Masques deck in the future, or if you have any interest in the mechanic at all, I recommend picking up these for your nation, whichever one you view as like your main nation. I recommend picking this up because the more Masques units introduced in the future, the more expensive these cards are going to be over time. So I recommend really picking this one up. Then one more double rare to end off the support is Keel Severing, which says auto from drop. When the Teasing Spiritualist Zorga Masques on your Vanguard Circle attacks, if you do not have a Keel Severing on your rearguard, cost counterblast 1 and retire a rearguard. Call this card to rearguard circle with a Dragon Tree marker on it. So this is what Zorga fans have been asking for. They've been asking for a 4th attack, and Zorga finally has a 4th attack. It can call a card from drop. Granted, it's only 5k power, but that doesn't matter because Teasing Spiritualist is going to give it plus 10 since you Alchemagic that turn. Cloud of Miasma is going to give it 5 guaranteed if you used 1. Then we have stuff like Persona Rye, which is going to give it an additional 10. So it's going to be like plus 25k power, which is pretty crazy. Like, that's pretty nuts. Oh, and also I forgot Dragon Tree marker, which will give it plus 5. I forgot to mention that because Masques is in the name of these Masques units. Now the Dragon Tree markers will pop off and they'll give your units 5k power, whichever one's on there. So that's just even more free power for Zorga to use. So overall, the 5k power is like balanced and doesn't really mean like a nerf for this card. It's just like balancing, because then it's already going to be huge. It's going to be like in the 30s by the time you bust it out. Another thing that makes this card really good is that it retires a rearguard. So one thing that makes it really bad in this meta is that we have decks like Chronojet and Messiah and Youthberg, which are like, Messiah's coming out, but it's still like around. It's going to bind and bottom deck your Ronin Prison Dragons, and there's no way to get them back. So you can use this card to just retire that rearguard so your opponent doesn't have a chance to interact with it during their turn. Just overall, very nice support for Zorga, and I'm looking forward to it. Then finally, we have an announcement for Booster Set 11, which is Eternal Clash of Heroes, which will be a Craycross Epic set, fitting in with the theme of every 3 sets. They give us a Craycross Epic set. We have Ezel coming back, which is really awesome. I'm really excited to see how he plays. And then we have new forms for the Craycross Epic Ride lines, which is pretty sick. I'm really looking forward to them. As for their names, we have Dawn of Fox Spirits Flames Tamayuta, Soul Oratorio Chaos, Poison in Paradise Eva, Impeding Justice the Greya, and Viridescent Flash Roa. Overall, really looking forward to these sets. I hope Glory Maelstrom's there. But without any further ado, let me know what you think of the support. Let me know what you're excited about for set 10, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.